Tere õhtust, tere tulemast. Good evening, and good evening to the very first Cooking with Susi show. So you may be wondering, how did this all get started? Probably about somewhere between about a year ago, I asked my son, Andres, I said, how do we get the younger crowd to come out to Tartu College? He said, food. He said food, and he said, Vanaema. Vanaema is food. And so we took that idea, and then we decided that, hey, why don't we bring those lovely ladies from Telepegel back and bring them and give us a cooking demonstration. And so this evening we're trying to make it a little bit like a television show. And there's been no rehearsals. So what you're seeing is actually the very first rehearsal of Cooking with Susi. So there may be, a few glitches, but we have five photographers. We have a film editor, and we have, everybody's ready and eager and keen to try something new. And so I thank everybody who has come this evening, and I also thank everybody for RSVPing. The intent for the RSVP was that we would have some idea of how much free samples we should be making. And so we had about 40 people RSVP. And because we're good Estonians, we made food samples for 80 people. So we immediately doubled, just like Vanaema would have in the good old days, right? So there's going to be lots of free samples. And I think we're going to have lots of fun this evening. Now the intent here is also that this will be a regular series. And we're hoping, our intent is to hold the next cooking show in the fall. And one of the things that we're really interested in is getting your feedback to tell us what works, what would you like to see. Are there any special guest chefs that would like to make an appearance helping Susi? Do you have a special recipe you want to share? Anyway, if you all use the same feedback mechanism that you RSVP'd with, so info@vemu.ca. Just give us your constructive feedback after the session. Any ideas that you have, we'll be happy to try and incorporate them in the future. I mean, we might do distilling, we might do all kinds of crazy things here in the future. So give us your feedback, and we'll do it. I should also mention that the LCBO rules being what they are, this evening, there is wine available. We got wine for 80 people. And so if you make every $5 donation that you make to the VEMU, you get a free glass of wine. And this evening only, we have a special where for $20 you get 4 glasses of wine. It is an honor system. We ask you to put the money in the donation basket, and we're happy if at the end of the day, at the end of the evening, you fix your bar bill. So, and you can, at any time, you can get up and go and get another glass of wine. One of the hopes that we have this evening, that it's a fun evening. Want everyone to have fun, and I think we're going to have a very good show with these two lovely ladies. I would also mention to you that next Wednesday, we have Lia Kõiv, who is going to be giving a lecture on her map collection. It's entitled Vanad Eestimaa maa ja mere kaardid. It's next Wednesday evening, and that lecture will be in Estonian. But I think that'll be a very interesting, especially if you're a cartographer, right? I think you'll find that a fascinating lecture. Anyway, you didn't come here to listen to me, so let's give a very special, warm welcome to the coming back from retirement, the Telepeegel ladies, Susi Holmberg and Ellen Valter. Ladies.
Hello.
Thanks, Jaan. The tall one is Susi. We had this problem at Telepeegel, actually. The camera guys were really annoyed with us because I couldn't get heels that were tall enough so that they have to pan the camera up and down and up and down. So we decided that we would work apart. So we're going to do that tonight too. So I'm going to be more on your side, talking with you and seeing how we fare. And Susi's going to walk us through the recipes. But this is meant to be a casual evening. If you have any questions, any comments, please raise your hand. If you want extra samples, raise your hand. If you want to go grab a drink while we're doing this, please do. This is at Vanaema's house, right? There are no rules at Vanaema's house. So our menu, there are rules? Oh.
There's no wine at Vanaema's house.
There's no, yes there is.
Okay.
So, I don't think you know tonight's menu, do you? No? Okay. So, first of all, we're going to, and the magic of television continues here, even so, because some things have been prepared in advance. So we're going to start with soolalõhe, which is a cured salmon. From there, we're going to have, everyone's comfort food for this winter that just won't end. So that's meat sauce, i.e. hakkliha-kaste, with mashed potatoes and 3-day pickles. And then we're going to end off with roosamanna, which is cranberry farina mousse. It has an English name. I didn't know that either. So I'm going to give it over to Susi now that she's prepped her soolalõhe, and we'll start with that.
Okay. Where do we start? I'm really nervous, so please forgive me.
Not as nervous as the salmon is.
No, I think it's over for the salmon. Okay, so the first thing we have is a beautiful fresh piece of fish. You can use a whole fish or part of it. It's really expensive, so and it only lasts about maximum a week. So don't buy more than you need. First thing that we do is we take our tweezers and make sure there are no pin bones, and that's usually in the center part.
Those are pliers. I was imagining tweezers, like eyebrow ones, but you've got the
tweezers
heavy-duty
you can
ones.
use on the on smaller fish, but these are really big bones, so you got to work on them sometimes, and they argue with you. Yes.
Do you have any salmon that you would recommend over another?
Well, in Canada, I prefer the Pacific because most of it's wild. And the Atlantic salmon, I think it's 99% of Canadian Atlantic salmon is farmed. It's just for sustainability, I prefer wild. Organic means who knows if it's really organic. Norwegian is great salmon too, so I would say Pacific Canadian is great here.
How about other kinds of fish? Oh, sockeye, coho.
Oh, coho, king. I like king. Salmon has quite a red color to it. That has to do with the diet, what it's eating. Lots of shrimp and lovely small mollusks.
How about other kinds of fish? Can you cure other kinds of fish,
Absolutely.
like whitefish or anything else?
Yeah, whitefish, trout, anything. Absolutely anything. You can pickle any kind of fish. Ooh, it does work. We have a sink in Tartu College. Okay, excuse me. So, did I answer your question? Sort of? Okay. What else? In Eesti, Eesti has trout and lots of salmon. herring, eel. There's lots of, I think there's 1,200 lakes in Eesti, and most of them are landlocked, so that's mainly perch and eel, I believe, what I read on the internet. So first of all, we're going to put some salt. And there are several different kinds of salts you can use. I prefer either pickling salt, which has no iodine in it, and it's a great coarse salt. It draws out the moisture. Kosher.
Did you want some?
Did you find the kosher? Oh, we have some kosher salt too. We'll speak about that in a minute. So this is also a gray salt. This is from France. It's really, really expensive, and it sort of almost smells and tastes a little bit of seawater. It's naturally brought out from the sea and dried in the sun, and it's not very salty, if you know what I mean. So we're usually for about 3 to 4 pounds of salmon, you put half a cup of salt.
So 3 to 4 pounds of salmon, half a cup of salt.
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't get very salty. If you like it saltier, you can put up to a cup. So that's about right.
And these recipes are all going to be up on the website later?
Yep.
So, okay.
Soon. And then sugar. Now, salt draws out the moisture. It kills bacteria and microorganisms. And sugar actually gives it some flavor. And it gives a good bacteria, as it turns out. It's called lactobacillus bacteria, and that's supposed to be good for you. Aha. Something, a little factoid there.
Gut.
Yeah, good for your gut.
And what are you putting on now? Or
Sugar?
the last of the sugar? Okay.
Yeah. Half a cup as well. You can go more as well. It's to taste. This is a very basic recipe. And then we're going to put a bit of dill.
Hey, that's the flower arrangement I got for you.
I gave it to you. So
You can put all kinds of things in, right? But I'll wait
Tons of
until you're
things.
done and then.
No, that's okay.
What about lemon?
Oh, yes, lemon. Oh, rivitud. I don't think we made it here.
Yep, I do.
We got it?
The
And
magic.
the lemon, did that come out?
Of course not.
Okay, so the lemon here. We're just going to grate some lemon here. And orange peel, too. It's beautiful. You can put lime. You can put tequila. You can put
How about juniper berries?
juniper berries and gin.
I have some juniper berries. Gin is juniper berries,
Juniper,
isn't it?
yeah. Shall we put some on?
You do.
Oh, but it's sealed, and I got salt on me. Yeah, in that bottle.
Can you crack juniper berries? You know, the ones that you buy at the lot and other places. You know, at the grocery store, you can buy juniper berries.
Yep,
No, in here, yeah.
yep.
And in Eesti, what do you do? You just crack the berries like you
Or
would
yeah,
like
you
under a
just
knife?
crack them and put them on. You can put pepper on too if you like the color and the little bit of flavor. You can do the honors.
Sorry. Okay, how much?
Yeah, vodka's great.
How much?
Tequila and lime is a really good combination too.
Is that
That's fine. Oh, and then on that note, I was going to talk about kosher salt. And why I say that, because kosher salt is great when you're rimming your martini glass. That's the one to use. It's got really flat sort of particles. So I've just put the half of the salmon on the other one, and then we're going to wrap it in plastic, which is not here. We're
Yes,
going to do
it-
it like that. Well, we do.
Well, where did we put the plastic? It's right here.
There we go.
Do you want me to fill the other?
Yes, please.
Yes, okay.
Now I leave the ends open, so because water's going to come out, and gin, depending on how much you have. And you just wrap it tightly as you can. And then you need to weigh it down. That's fine. For sure, it's fine. And you can weigh it down with something like this, more filled with water. Or you can take some sort of plate or something like that and put some cans on it, and that gives it a good weight. Okay, you put it in the fridge for 48 hours. And every 12 hours, you need to flip it. And I usually get rid of the excess liquid. because I don't want it sitting in there. It's coming out anyway, and I don't want the fish to sit in that liquid that is wanting to come out.
So every 12 hours you flip it and get rid of the excess.
Yep,
Not more than that.
not more than that. You want some of the moisture out when curing it, like adding the salt and the weight draws out the moisture. And that's what you want. Oh yes, so it looks like the magic of television, Helen. Can anybody see that? That's the orange zest and, yeah, varsti. Shall we call the girls out to maybe sample already? They don't need to.
Oh, okay.
Kosher salt is actually not kosher. It's not blessed by any rabbi or anything like that. It's just used by, actually it is kosher, but it's not certified kosher. It is, lost my track of mine. It draws out moisture really, really well on meats and on fish. It's a really good salt to use for pickling, salting, things like that. I just want to show you too, if you want to later on come up. This is from Sweden. It's a smoked sea salt. It smells very sweet, and I've never tried it yet on the salmon, but I think that might be a good thing to try. Okay. Right there. Are they passing around?
Yes, so the first samples are about to come out. Oh, they will be in a second. And we're going to move on to hoklihakaste, a very fancy name for meat sauce, which, I mean, I remember eating as a kid all the time, but somehow it just doesn't make it onto the menu anymore. I don't know, in the household. So it really does seem to be more of a Vanaema food. And so we will do that intermittently with other things as we wait for meat to fry and so forth. So back over to you, Susi.
Okay.
Hoklihakaste is next. Or any other questions on the soraluhe? Cured salmon? Okay.
Is there an easy way to cut it?
No. You're supposed to you put your salmon here and you cut it this way, you go towards the tail, and as thinly as possible. If you have a really nice, long, sharp, thin knife, that works, and you kind of jig it back and forth. Okay, you're welcome. Nope. Or get somebody else to do it. Is that, yeah.
How long will it last?
About a week, but I think like the third day is very good. Okay, we're set. Hopefully it was put back together properly, yes?
I hope so. That
I
was
hope
me.
so.
So if it doesn't work, that's mea culpa.
Okay. Did I have another plate here somewhere?
Yes, you do have another plate.
Thank you. Right there. So, hoklihakaste, right? Should we go on?
Let's do this.
This is what I want.
So for hoklihakaste,
You can see.
we're the version that we're using is that we're sampling is ground meat, and is it all beef?
This is all beef, but
Raw beef, but probably at Vanaema juures we'd be having half beef and half pork, right? And why
yeah,
is that?
pork was more prevalent in Esti. It's cheaper, and the farms. It's cheaper to grow a pig than a cow. It's better. Ah, yes.
But Vanaema would probably have ground her own meat, right?
Yeah.
So we thought we would explore how well that works.
Yes.
And I think everyone has one of these meat grinders at home,
Don't
right?
they? Yeah. This is my Vanaemas.
You didn't get one at the bazaar last year? Well, if not, you can pick one up. Exactly.
Yeah. I think it might be backwards. It's okay. No, I think that's right. That needs some salt and pepper.
Hang on, I'm at the microphone.
Okay, let's try this.
Some salt and pepper to the onions and the mushrooms.
Yep.
that you put in.
Okay, this grinder is no longer working. It was working when we tested it today.
That's my fault.
Oh, really? I just like it. My grandmother did it too. Yeah, yeah. And mushrooms are cheaper than meat too, right? Everybody was poor. No, it's off balance. Yes. Yeah, I was going to use the butt end of that thing. Yeah. Okay. Yes, please. I have one in the back. That's the next step. It does very well. I think we're going for that now. No, no. It has two different kinds of attachments. Those, so you can make it. You can make coarser ones or thinner ones. Yeah. I haven't done food processor. No. Oh, a Cuisinart, like a KitchenAid with a grinding attachment. I put butter because I don't have any oil, but you can use either. Can I have maybe Jaan go get the KitchenAid? And the attachment is in a box back there. Yeah. Okay.
All right, it's working. Susie. Finally, Vanaema, I did something right. Yep.
And then these spots on the other hand.
So, what would you use to?
This is sirloin. I prefer sirloin. It's good fat contact. It's got good flavor. Tenderloin is really good. Expensive. I don't like round is a bit tough, I find, and so is butt, blade. All those things are a bit tougher. But grinding it does tenderize it, of course. Look at you.
I'm never buying ground meat. She would be, finally. All right.
Okay, we're ready. No, that's fine. To grind meat.
Okay, are we doing a portion for two or one or
This is probably more than that.
more than enough?
Well, yeah, if we put all of that in, then yeah, 3 maybe.
What if we just grind the rest of them? Or
Sure.
so this would not be very fatty, and you normally need a bit of fat in your.
Yep.
In your okay.
Yes. I like Vidalia. Sweet. Yeah, you can use anything, of course, but it's my preference.
Okay, so while this fries up, because it's going to take a bit of time, just clear this here.
Okay.
You guys have time?
Okay, here we are. No. Open this up. Okay, so you buy fresh cucumbers for pickling.
So what is a pickling cucumber? Those nice long English cucumbers, are those any good?
I've never tried to pickle those really. I just know that these are a great size. The seeds are good.
What are you looking for in the seeds? Like, what do you mean by seeds are good?
I don't know.
Tiny or smaller seeds?
I
Just
don't know
the
what
right
I'm saying.
ones?
Just the right ones. Maybe that's what we're used to. So, I'm not doing the first. First of all, I'm going to take a bunch of dill, not from the flower bouquet, because I got in trouble for that, and a little bit of chopped garlic, just a couple. And then we line up our pickles, standing up, squished together if you can.
So you want them as densely in there as possible, right?
Yes.
And so is that so that you get the right liquid, or as little liquid
sort
as
of-
possible, or
it's-
brine, I guess it's called, not
It's
liquid.
brine, yeah. You're asking me tough questions I don't know.
Yeah, we didn't prep these questions.
No, we didn't. You're fired.
After the show.
After the show. Okay, I think it stops, when they're densely put in, the reasoning I think it is they don't float then. You know, if you have them floating around, and if there's any air in there, the chance of bacteria getting in is probably higher. So I think that would be the reasoning.
I guess also because the brine might sink to the bottom, or some of the, for example, the garlic. And so that way maybe
That's okay.
they'll
That's okay, because I usually shake them up anyway. Yep, it's only 3 days. They're not a sterilized pickle, and the pickles are only good for a week. Yeah, so eat them up. So about 8 or 9 cucumbers. We have a quarter cup of vinegar. And then we have boiling water. Oh, we're going to put some
Do we
salt
salt?
into.
Okay.
We need 2 tablespoons of salt. So I don't have my tablespoon.
Are those Susie-sized tablespoons?
That's a Susie-sized tablespoon. It's kosher salt. It's not as salty as like table salt. Table salt has iodine in it, which is actually good for you. It was purposely put in the salt to keep people healthy. Helps with hypothyroidism and something called goiter, I believe.
So kosher salt has no iodine in it, is that right?
That's correct. Pickling salt doesn't either.
Ingredients.
table salt does.
Sea salts. That's true.
Sea salt is great too.
That's what it says,
Yeah.
that the ingredients are
Some
here.
sea salts are iodized though. And iodine might change the color of the pickle, so it might go a little bit more gray. That's why we use mushy probably, yeah. So fill as far as you can with the water. My grandmother used to take black currant leaves and shove them on top. I think that's for flavor, but also to keep the pickles down again. And you shake. And that's pretty well it. I put it in the fridge 3 days and start eating. Okay? Okay. Okay. Yep. Yeah, that'd be faster. Yep. Yep. No garlic? Okay. I don't know where Ellen went. Ah. Yeah. I don't think, I really don't know the answer to that. I think they're just. Yeah, that could be. So, is
So-
that plating?
This seems to be all cooked up.
Yep. Now, at this point, I would dust it with a little bit of flour, which is in the back. We don't really need to.
Okay.
Well, maybe we should.
I'll go fetch.
Okay, thank
Anything
you.
else?
We need milk. That should be here. Okay. Yeah. You can use water, you can use stock. That's the way my grandmother made it.
I brought in the prettiest bowl I could find.
Okay. So we're just going to dust it. Not too much. Sorry if anybody's gluten-free. You can't have this.
Can you smell that, by the way? Yeah?
And I like to season it with a little bit of thyme, fresh thyme. And then I add the milk. And the flour is going to thicken up the milk. Eventually.
That's as hot as that hot plate gets, I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay.
And so we're also going to be serving mashed potatoes, but we're not going to start demoing them because apparently everyone knows how to make mashed potatoes.
I should.
So I raised my hand and I said, what if someone doesn't? So Susi, can you walk us through how one mashes the perfect mashed potato?
I use Yukon Gold potatoes. I peel them.
Yukon Gold, is that a yellow?
Yellow fleshed.
Okay.
Yeah. And peel it, boil it until it's completely soft. Strain it. I add hot cream. I warm it so it mashes better. You don't get any lumps. And
So you heat the
some
cream
butter,
first and that helps.
butter.
Okay.
and salt and pepper and mash it until it's smooth. That's pretty well it. I think I need a chair. Hear me that?
Yep.
Sorry? No. Sorry, I know this looks silly, but now I'm going to be as tall as Ellen now, just for a minute.
Oh, let me enjoy this for a second. How are you, Susie? Gaia.
It turns to glue. Yeah, food processor I find is bad. No, a mixer is okay, either with a paddle attachment or a whisk attachment, but yeah, not a food processor. Yeah, no. Con 20%. Yeah.
Susie uses full cream, 35%. And butter.
And butter.
Okay, we're getting some thickness going on here. Keep going. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'll be fine. I know this looks.
I know you have a new knee.
How about that stool there? For this is good for probably about 2 or 3 people. I would say a pound maybe for 4 people. Yeah. I think so. Yeah. Okay. Do you want to put it on the plate?
I can.
Okay.
So you're trusting me with plating.
And a hot pan. Oops.
So want to, because I'm plating, do you want it over the mashed potatoes, around? And what if,
I usually have a little peeking out, so you can put it just a little bit to the side.
comes out?
Yeah, maybe a little bit more. A nice bit of parsley. I don't think we have that here, but okay. No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
Dill is good. Okay. Oh, and we need a little bit of sour cream right there. There's a plate right there. Yes. So I just want a little creamy sauce. It could be a little bit creamier, like more milk, but it's as you like it. It's okay. You can use dill. So we need a little bit of sour cream. Sometimes, you can also put a little sour cream in the sauce before you plate it. And a little green. And our slice of 3-day pickles, because 3 days has passed. Merci, applaus. Thank you. Okay.
So how about we put our victories here?
Aha. Here we go.
Okay, so
Next. Oh, we have to. Are they getting samples?
let me just make sure that happens right away.
Anybody hungry? Yeah, that lemon and orange. Just the peel. Good, thanks. And not too salty, right? Yeah.
So while we wait for the samples to come out, we can put this on the start, but maybe if you want to take a break, we can talk about what future shows could be. So we're talking about Vanaema juures right now, when we were brainstorming some ideas of what future menus could be. Things like sylt, seljanka,
Pirukad.
pirukad, leib. So we could have breads, we could have like plaadi koogid, something like that. You know, like the soups, sauna foods, smoked foods. Sauna foods, you know those salted beans, you know those wide fava beans, and like those nice and salty, and maybe some smoked meats to go with that.
Bloody
Bloody
love it.
gogit. So start thinking about what foods you'd really like to, learn how to make, or we can learn together, or maybe get some guest chefs in and submit them, please, to, I think it was info@vemu.ca. Vemu.ca.
Mulgikapsat, yeah? I heard that.
Yeah, the varieties of kapsat that there are out there.
Oh, yeah.
Floating islands. And I've never made pasha, but I know that in some families that's quite a... So we could have even holiday foods, like Easter foods and those kinds of things. So please submit and we'll...
Oh.
Very worsted, yeah. So the last item on our menu tonight is, I'm hoping that the samples come out, but how long is this going to take?
Oh, we'll have to fake it anyway.
Well, no, I was thinking if we could use that, we could put this to beat for a little bit, if we're going to actually show this, because it's such a big difference.
I've already got.
It's all whipped? All right, so the last part of the menu tonight is rosa manna. And who remembers the translation into English of rosa manna?
Farina mousse.
Yep.
That's right.
Well done. So for that, did you? We have in here. Let me just show what's in the.
Cranberries and sugar, basically. And we heat that up.
And are these frozen or fresh cranberries, or does
These
it matter?
happen to be frozen. I didn't find any fresh right now.
Okay.
It is not the season.
True. Okay, so
Nope, no water. It's quite concentrated. If you don't have berries, you can use juice too and sort of boil it down a little bit to concentrate it. And it doesn't have to be cranberries. It could be blackberries. It could be currants. Could be anything. So we just heat this up, and then we strain it. The semolina isn't here.
it'll take. Pardon me.
The semolina isn't here.
On its way.
Sorry, Eden.
You called me thing number 1.
Yes. Probably 10 or 15 minutes.
So what are you looking for? Just a soft enough texture?
Yep, and exude the juices. So they're basically popping, I guess. That's when they're done, and I guess you get some of the goodness out of them. Pectin, I guess, and I think so. Maaron biaguix das, so almost a cup of sugar. It's pretty sour. Yeah. Again, to taste, whatever you like. So we have to kind of pretend about this too, okay? Thank you. Like that? So, I'll put this here. So I would mash that a lot more, okay, in the kitchen. So I think I probably, if I had a cup of juice, I would do 3 tablespoons approximately of semolina.
Sorry,
And
repeat that. So if you had a cup of juice,
a cup of juice,
then you would
3
use.
tablespoons of semolina. And
Farina is and semolina is
it's
the same
wheat,
thing?
yeah, it's the
Oh,
inside. It is cream of wheat, but don't buy the cream of wheat. That has wheat germ in it, and it won't fluff up. Yeah, so you want to go to the bulk store and go get your semolina without the additive. And that's just the, semolina is just the heart of the wheat kernel. So, and it's obviously not gluten-free. If I had a whisk, that would be good too.
Did you want this?
Oh yes, that's okay. Yeah, we could do that. So just for this purpose here, I would just pour in 3 tablespoons. I'm just pretending at this moment, but you just want to put it in a slow stream. And then you cook it for about 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. I'm not. I'm supposed to have a real whisk. No. Sort of in between. I get a wooden spoon usually because it gets really thick and you want to kind of lift it off the bottom. A whisk won't get it. So again, 15 minutes has passed, right? Magic. And then we start whisking. And this is a very long time also. Probably another 10, 15 minutes of whisking to get it frothy. It's a deeper color than this. I've already sort of frothed this. And I don't think we want to listen to this for 15 minutes, right?
Yeah, it starts off a very deep burgundy and a very gluey texture.
Yeah.
So right now it's already been whipped into a very
And what
a
was
nice dusty rose.
My instructions to you is whip the...
No, we can't say that on
Okay.
live television. Whip the bleep out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whip the crack pipe out of it.
Okay, and then we have this. Don't have it somewhere to put it. Oh, we could put it in here. So it's a lot less gluey. It could be even fluffier if we had time.
And so cranberries are the traditional one for rosa manna, and if you use blackberries, it'll be
A deeper color.
just a deeper color.
Sorry. Okay.
And that, oh, hang on, let's do a close up here too. Or can you see it? You can see the, I don't know if you can see the pink.
Yep. So, yeah, you just get the air in it. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't work. I tried it. I was told about it and I tried it. It didn't work. It does a little bit, but not enough. Mixer is even better than the hand mixer. Yeah. I haven't personally, no. But same thing. You just want to strain out the seeds once they're cooked.
You could use like a black currant.
Yeah, that'd be beautiful. Sure.
This is lovely.
Haglia?
There's a real difference between using ground meat that you do yourself to the Latvia. It's really quite different.
Thank you. Okay. We round it up. Okay.
So got the samples of that, and the rosa manna will be coming out after that. We're going to clean up here, but please help yourself to more wine, and we'll clean up a little bit and have more questions maybe in a little bit.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Thank you.
That's it. I can go sit down yet. Okay.
Let's take about a 7-minute break. We're pushing the wine this evening, so there's lots of wine, and there's lots of more food samples coming around. So it's a good time to just stretch your legs, get some more wine, and we'll come back. The menus will be going online on VEMU, VEMU.ca, and also I think we're going to put them on eastyelu.ca as well. Okay. Tere õhtut. Good evening. Good evening, Toomas. There's still lots of wine. There's more food samples. But if we give a strong round of applause, I know we can bring the two lovely ladies out again. So let's give a big round of applause for Susi and Ellen. You know, I think they did a really great job this evening. And when you consider this was the first rehearsal, you know, I thought it went remarkably smoothly. So, you know, I think Susi is a natural here in front of the camera. Very knowledgeable, eh? You ask her a question, and boom, you get an answer right away.
Only if Ellen doesn't ask.
Now, what we would like to do here is if you have a question, raise your hand. I will bring the microphone to you because the video guys want to capture the questions. So, who has a question for Susi or Ellen? Oh, come on. You had lots of questions during the filming.
What would you suggest for wine or drink pairings for the 3 courses?
Interesting. I think with the fish, probably something fruity or like a Sauvignon Blanc or what do you think? Chardonnay, yeah, beer or vodka, gin, something like that. I would go red wine with a haklia sauce. And some sort of, maybe a sauterne or, I think port's too heavy. Do you have any ideas?
Port's too heavy too. But possibly a fruit wine, an apple wine or something?
Yeah, or a berry, something. Yeah. That's true, yeah.
Who else? Teet.
I actually asked Susi in the hallway that my mother used to make the rosa manna with vanilla caste.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anybody else's grandmother or mother made it with a vanilla caste, but I would like to know, or maybe you could research it and add it to your the menu on the website.
Yeah.
What goes into making the vanilla caste? And it wasn't very thick, and it wasn't a caste that was like a heavy cream or anything. It was a sauce that was liquid, but it was a vanilla caste that you poured on top of the rosa manna, and it was divine.
Yeah, I'll try to look it up for you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's wrap it. Yeah.
My mother had a second version where she used to whip in whipping cream.
Uh-huh.
She whipped it and then she
And then
folded
whipped
it
cream.
into and made it much lighter.
Yes, it would be.
Richer, of course.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Any other fond memories of rosa manna cream? No? I just remember my mother used to make that. That was like the favorite. And then the grandkids, it was like their favorite dessert too. But that's... All right. How about akliha soast? Any comments, any questions? She said.
Because you're using, what was it, ground steak?
Yeah, sirloin.
Like there's no rust or fat?
It's
you
natural.
don't have to drain it or anything
Not
like
really.
that? No, okay.
And you want some of the grease in there, whatever fat there is, for the flour you're making basically a roux that thickens you need fat in the flour to make a roux.
So
and then you
I
add your
guess
sauce.
that's why grounding your own meat really does make a big difference, right?
Sure, it's not as watery.
Yeah.
Great.
Just to make a comment, when I was in the U.S. Army, this meal used to be served at least once a month.
Really?
Normally for breakfast.
Yeah.
And it was called, the Army, the personnel hated it. They really detested it. And it was served with toast, and it was called shit on a shingle.
Oh.
Is what it was.
I hope that doesn't taste anything like it. Okay, I gotta go.
There's another culinary fact that we didn't.
I don't know.
Maybe we didn't
Catch
need
me.
to know.
Catch me when I fall. I've really gotta go.
Any other questions? Any questions on the salmon?
No, I'm gonna faint. It's okay.
No?
Okay.
Oh.
I gotta wrap it.
How about any questions in general for Susi or Ellen? Anyway, if we give them both again a nice round of applause, they'll come back in the fall.
Aitäh. Thank you. Valter.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And that wraps up the evening, but you're welcome to stay. There's lots of food samples, and there's more wine.